Yeah, so I think I said the last unit is pending. I think almost every topic is covered up to unit, no, 4 units. If anything is missed out, please let me know. As per my knowledge, I have covered each and every topic. So only unit 5 is left out. So today we are going to discuss about structures. So probably I need 2 to 3 classes to cover the structures, maybe 1 or 2 classes for the files, which is called input and output, where you have introduction to the files, then what are the different modes of operation for the given file, then what do you mean by streaming streams, and then what are the standard library to perform operations on the files, and what are the functions we use to write and take data from the files. So this is what actually the unit 5, and which is more important I'm telling. As an electronic student's point of view, widely used, the topic is pointers, structures, and files. These three are widely used, so you must be just spend more time on it, and you must be very thorough on it. Okay, if any doubts, just let me know. So let me straight away go to the topic for today's class. Is called structures. So name it will indicating structure is basically, if you talk about any building, right? How do you say it is a structure? Because you have some kind of a columns, then you have some beams, then some kind of no arrangements is made, then it becomes a structure, isn't it? Yes or no? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so just we would like to take the the recap of the definition of the an array. Can anybody define what is an array definition? Yeah, because in the lab exam you're going to be asked all these things. Anybody from the class, how do you define an array?
It's a collection of similar type of data types.
It is the collection of the elements of similar data type, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If you wanted to collect, if you wanted to make a group of dissimilar types or heterogeneous group of elements, then you have only option in the C programming is called structures. Structures is also similar to an array. Only thing is the data which you are going to combine will not be of no similar data type. So I can have a provision to pack the integer, float, and character together. Is that clear to all of you? It's all about placing the adjacent location, right? The data of one data type and the data of other data type in the continuous memory location. If you are able to store, then you can consider that particular arrangement as a structure. Coming to the array, same thing we do, but only thing is similar data type we are trying to save, but structure is dissimilar data type we are going to save. That's the difference. So any doubts in the definition, please just let me know. I can explain once again if you want. Is that clear? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll tell you the best example. Your college bag. Do you carry vegetables in your college bag? Respond. Do you carry vegetables in your college no bag?
No,
Yes
sir.
or no? Just please respond.
No, sir.
No, is it? You will carry your vegetables in the college bag.
No, sir.
Generally, we don't do, right?
No,
Yeah,
sir.
we don't generally carry your backpack. The bag, generally you keep to keep the books, right? The similar type may not be of same book, different subjects, different size, different, but all of them belong to a similar data type, which is a book. But similarly, if you go to a shopping mall where a trolley will be taken, right? In the trolley, you will take all similar type or dissimilar type of things you will put into the trolley. Respond.
Dissimilar types.
Yeah, so that is called like how you pack it. If dissimilar types are made together, they are at one place, is called structure. A similar data type, if you are trying to make it in a in a single container, is called array. So almost same, but it all depends on the need. If I say that I wanted to maintain the record of marks, so all the marks will be belong to a float, isn't it? Percentage, I should say. So all the 60 students in a class, I wanted to store in a memory. Always I prefer to have an array. Is that clear? So float array. In fact, the rule number one has got some certain percentage of marks. Rule number two has got some certain percentage. So every percentage will be measured in how much? Float only, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Respond. Yeah, when it comes to the maintaining the database, right? Profiles, right? Or if you are giving the information, maybe at the end of the fourth year, you are no eligible for placements and all. and the placement office is asking the student details. So only roll number is sufficient. Tell me. While
No.
giving the
No,
information
sir.
to the placement office, only roll number does not help. So what all generally you expect? A placement office is no need details about a student. Can anybody tell? General, in general.
Marks,
Hmm.
GPA, uh,
Name also, right?
name,
Is it
Yes,
not?
sir. Yes, sir.
educational
Yeah,
background.
name belongs to which data type? Yeah, if you wanted to have the data type for the name, which data type is preferable?
Character.
Character array, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Array of characters or character pointer or whatever I can say. Then roll number belongs to
Integer.
long integer. In fact, I should say, strictly speaking, right? You have more number of digits. Then followed by the percentage of marks.
Float, sir.
Float. So is it not the? All this data belongs to one student, or it's a different entities basically. You tell me. Is it not all the data belongs to a one particular group, or sorry, one particular student? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Respond. So the data related to a student are having a different data type. So I just wanted to store in a memory, which are one next to the each other. Is called structure. So I want 60 students. So how many structures I'm supposed to use? If there are 60 students in the class, how many structures I just wanted to maintain in the memory? Respond. So one structure variable for one student. So 60 students. How many structures are needed?
60.
60, isn't it? Yeah. So now you tell me, having 60 variables is better or array of structures is better?
Array of structures,
Remembering
sir.
names is easier. Yeah. Remembering name is a tough job in the class, whereas remembering the roll number is good, isn't it? So I wanted to have a particular student. Always roll number is an index for me. Roll number 1, 2, 3. I will go like that. So roll number is an index for me to access every student of the class. Whereas remembering name is difficult, isn't it? Yes or no? Is that clear what I'm trying to explain? If
Yes,
you
sir.
say yes or no, then I can proceed for the further topics. Okay, fine. So today we are going to talk about how a structure is going to be declared and how it is going to be defined and how it is going to be represented in the C program. Then followed by, if you wanted to maintain a record of more than one student, then I need array of structures. I can also have the record of the employees. Then I also need an array of structures. Then if you wanted to modify the data of a particular record, it could be a student or an employee from some other function, then I need a pointer to this structure, because already we have discussed the call by reference or call by address will always help us to modify the memory which is declared in the main function can be modified in some other function if at all that is a call by address kind of passing the parameter to the function. So that is called pointer to this structure. Then comes nested structures. It is something like a structure in a structure. It is suppose if somebody said the data of a student. So just now I mentioned, no, you have the student name, then you have a roll number, then you have marks, right? Then for that student, you are going to study some of the elective subjects. Elective means all the 60 students may not study the same subject, because maybe in third year, if I'm right, there are certain 10 subjects are there. Out of the 10 subjects, it all depends on the interest of the student. They can choose which subject they wanted to offer, means take the the subject, and they can study only that. So if a particular company is coming, they are also looking at the different types of electives where students are undergone for the course and all. So in that case, what I will do is, again I'll maintain a structure in a structure where the nested structure is going to maintain the electives. So is that clear to all of you? Is that clear? Respond. Speak out. Don't be simply keep quiet. Yes or no? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I audible or not? Yeah, then respond. Why are you just keeping quiet? Any one of you? Everybody is thinking somebody else will speak, and then everybody is keeping quiet. Okay. I'll give a best example. In your college bag, you have a small pocket in which again you keep all pens, erasers, and all, isn't it? Is that clear or not? We have a structure of a bag.
sir.
In that structure, you have a one more structure where you can keep only the small items, which are again dissimilar type. You can have a scale, you can have a pencil, you can have a pen, you can have an eraser. So again, these are all dissimilar data type. Is that clear?
Yes,
Structure in a structure is called nested structure. So finally, you are supposed to pass a structure to a function. So these are the different things. If you know, I think the first half of the unit 5 is going to be okay. So I think one more topic is that unions, which is not given here. For that, I'll take separate class on the union. So let me start with the introduction part for the structure. The problem is already I have discussed, so I can skip some of the slides within a little faster. So here, how to group together a collection of a data items of a different data types that are logically related to a particular entity. Just now I mentioned. So array is not suitable. The solution is a structure. I guess everybody understood the first slide. Can I move to the next slide?
yes, sir.
What all we have discussed so far is this only, right? The problem to maintain the data about dissimilar data types. So structure is a solution. Array is not suitable. So now it's a definition that if somebody asks, you just mention this in the lab also. A structure is a collection of the variables of different data types under the single name. I think student name is same, but the data related to them could be different data types. So a structure is a collection of variables of a different data types under the single name. Is called a structure. So it's a variable basically. The variables are called members of the structures. It means the name is a member, then roll number is a member, then your marks is a member, then structure in a structure means the member structure, something like that. So what all different data items you are trying to pack into a single structure, every data item is called as a member now. So it's a technically word generally used in the structures. So what all data types you are declaring under the structure, they are considered as a members of the structure. There's something like family members, no? Every family has some kind of something like you have your surname, right? Under your surname, you have a different names again in a single family. Yes or no? Is that clear? Now, the most important thing is the structure is also called a
Yes, sir.
user-defined data type because there is no standard the data type is the user-defined because a student in a government college, the data what a placement office is going to accept is different. The same placement office in some other private college, the data they ask is different. So everything, right? So the whatever record or whatever data I'm trying to pack into a single record, it is not unique. It all depends on the requirement, what data I generally need. So that is how the structure is called as a user defined data type. So coming to the definition, is very most important how you try to write in the C programming. So here you can see the struct is a keyword which you are supposed to use it for the definition of the structure. Followed by the structure name you can write. The structure underscore name, it could be any name you can give. It's something like student underscore name. So I'm just trying to give a structure name as a student underscore name, but struct must be same. Only structure underscore name can be of any name which of your interest that you can write there, followed by opening and closing bracket, curly brackets, then followed by semicolon. So this is a standard syntax to define this structure. Between the opening and closed curly brackets, you can use the different types of variables. Here you can see data type is nothing but integer. Then you can have a variable one. Then you can have a float under data underscore type for the second line. Then you can have a one more variable. Then you can have a character under third or fourth line, data underscore type. You can have a character variable. So like that, the different lines can be of different data types, and it could be of similar also. I mean, sometimes I need two integers, one float. I need three floats, one integer, one character. I need two character array of characters to represent a name, and followed by maybe one integer, one float, something like that. So every data type could be a string data type, or it could be an integer data type, or it could be a character, or it could be a float or long int. What all data types you have studied so far. So every data type can be of possible inside the structure definition, and also more than one time the same data type can be used. There's nothing wrong in that. Okay, that you must remember. So once the structure underscore name is declared as a new data type for the C program, then you are allowed to use the variables of that particular type as you generally declare for a standard data type. So standard data type is nothing but int space a. So a is an integer variable. Similarly, whatever the first line you have written for the structure definition, same thing you have to write here also in the declaration. You can see struct space, then structure underscore name, followed by the name of the variable semicolon. So once you keep the semicolon inside the main, after the the name struct space structure underscore name followed by the name of the variable, then memory is going to be allocated. The structure definition will only give the information to the compiler, whereas structure declaration will allocate the memory of for that particular structure. That you must remember. So under the note, you can just give a concentration on that. The members of the structure do not occupy the memory until they are associated with a structure variable. There's a bottom line, right? Simply by defining the variable inside the structure, no memory is going to be allocated. The memory is going to be allocated only when you try to declare a variable under the inside the main function or any other function. So that is like important point, blue color line. So here one of the example is given, struct space student. So student is the name of the structure here. Then under the student, I just have total 5 elements. So first one is a string data type. So because it's an array of character, can I say array of characters as a string data type? Respond. Can I consider array of characters as a string data type?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So first is a string data type. Second one is an integer. Third one is a float. Fourth one is a character. And fifth one will be the long integer. So like that, you have total 5 possibilities where this data is going to be given a single name called student. Now you're trying to declare as the global variable also, need not to be inside the main, outside the also you can declare. But one thing is shows struct space student space st. So st is a structure variable. If you try to measure the size of the st, it is simply sum of the sizes of all the members present in the structure. How many members are present in the structure here? Can anybody tell? How many members are there in the given definition of the structure? Respond.
5.
5 members, right? So can anybody tell what is the member 1 has the amount of memory needed? For the first member, how much memory is needed? When you say char space name of 20, how many bytes are going to be allocated?
20 bytes.
20 bytes, very good. Integer?
80.
Integer is 4, right? So 24. Float is again 4, 28. Then character is 1, 29. Then long, how much? Again 4 bytes. So 33 bytes are going to be allocated. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
The moment you type struct space student space st, size of st you can printf no size of st. If you try, you are going to see 33 bytes are going to be allocated. So the 33 bytes are useful only for student data type. So there is no standard data type which is going to be giving 33 bytes. It is user defined. That is the reason it is 33 bytes. In the previous slide, that is it is also called user defined data type. Okay. So multiple variables of the struct student type can be declared as follows, where struct space student space st1 comma st2 comma st3. It is like similar to your int a comma b comma c. Instead of integer, we are using a user defined data type. Struct space student, then space, there are 3 structured variables, st1 comma st2 comma st3. So all the 3 variables put together, how much memory is allocated for the last statement? Can anybody tell how much memory is allocated?
99.
Very good. So st1 will be 33, st2 will be 33, st3 also 33. Total 99 bytes are going to be allocated for the last statement. Coming to here, defining the structure, we should follow certain rules here. So each variable of the structure has its own copy of the member variables. So no two structures should have same, no, means you can have, but you will get confused. So that is the reason generally we avoid different structures, different member names actually. So, but you can have the same name also, but to avoid the confusion, generally we don't consider. But one thing is sure that each variable of the structure, even structure variable st1 or st2 or st3 has its own copy of member variables. Just now you mentioned 99 bytes. It means first 33 bytes are different, second 33 bytes are different, third 33 bytes are different. Is that clear to all of you? Own copy of the member variables. Is that point is clear? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Now the thing is, I just wanted to access the member variable from the structure. There is a symbol we use called dot. So dot operator is also called a member operator. Whenever you wanted to access a particular member of the structure, always use structure variable dot the name of the member. So here you can see st1 dot name. So out of the 5 variables, string data type, the name is going to be accessed by using a structure variable st1 dot name. So first member of the st1 is going to be accessed by using a dot operator. So st1 dot name is a member variable name of st1 structure variable, while st3 dot gender is a member variable called gender of the st3 structure variable. So is this both locations are different or same? st1 and st3 different copies or same copies? Respond.
Different, sir.
Different copies, right? For the first 33 bytes, the name is in fact first 20 locations. Coming to the gender, I don't know which member it is. I think it is the fourth one. So fourth location in the last 33 bytes. So you can say st3 is going to be accessed for the last 33 bytes. So they are different. Now here some more examples are given defining the structure. The structure definition and variable declaration can be combined, and the use of the struct underscore name is optional. If at all you wanted to use the structure name as a student, you can use, otherwise it is an optional, provided you must declare there itself. So here you can see, instead of declaring separately like struct space student space st1 comma st2 comma st3, it is definition and declaration together. I think we have seen so many other normal standard data type also, but only difference is int space a semicolon. So a is a memory which is allocated with the 4 bytes. But coming to here, if you don't write st1 comma st2 comma st3 after the closing bracket, it is called only a it is only a structure definition where memory is not going to be allocated. If at all you are going to write st1 comma st2 comma st3 after the closing bracket before the semicolon, after that semicolon, then the memory is also allocated. And when you write st1 comma st2 comma st3, the structure name is optional. So student is an optional, that you can see in the second column basically. Is that clear to all of you? The definite difference between these two different ways of representing the definition of the structure. Is that clear? Then comes syntax of
Yes, sir.
struct space the structure name, the followed by structure variable is equal to, the way we have done in the arrays, within the opening and closing curly brackets, just we write 0 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3 for integer array. Here also you can write value 1 value 2 value 1, but make sure that the order should not be missed. So here value 1 should be name, so you should write within the double quotes. The value 2 must be, I don't know what is the second one, maybe roll number, so it should be an integer. Then third point should be a float, then fourth one should be a single character, then last one should be a long integer. So that order is needed to be maintained. Then you can say definition and declaration at the same time. So structure definition is different, the value definition is different. So this is called value definition, not structure definition. You're defining actual the memory with some value instead of a garbage. So this is syntax for defining the every element of the structure. Now, one more thing is there is a one-to-one correspondence between the members and their initializing values. So you cannot interchange the order of the, how you have written inside the structure definition. Similarly, when you use in the variable declaration. So coming to the note, C does not allow the initialization of the individual structure members within the structure definition template. So it indicates that you cannot define within the structure definition. Means something like struct to student, then opening and closing brackets, semicolon, where inside the opening and closing brackets, we have written char name 20 semicolon, where if you wanted to assign char name 20 is equal to double quote some name ABC, because as I mentioned, memory is not going to be allocated when you just define the structure. Memory is going to be allocated only when structure variable is declared. So that is the reason structure definition does not allow any initialization, but coming to the declaration will allow the initialization part. So here you can see inside the main, I use struct space student, then st1 is a variable name, where it has got total 5 different members. So first member will be the string, so which is written as written within the double quotes. Then roll number will be the 4, then marks will be 79.5, then gender is a male, then followed by some phone number, okay, which is long integer. So this is how you can perform the initialization, or else you can use the scanf also. So coming to the scanf, you can see I think scanf is not used. It's only to verify that whatever we have written inside the opening and closing bracket, it is really assigned or not. So that is the reason while printing the individual member, you're supposed to access the individual element. So to access the individual element, you have only option is structure name dot operator followed by the member name. So you can see here, first one I'm using percentile s in the last printf. So percentile s is going to indicate the name of the student. So I'm supposed to use st1 common name. So you are able to see that ABC is going to be printed. Then there's a tab 2 times. So I think 10 spaces will be there. Then again percentile d, which is going to be indicating a roll number. So st1 dot roll number. So like that, just a minute, somebody's okay. So coming to the roll number, you have a percentile d similar to the percentile s for the first member. It is the second member. Then you have a percentile percentile f as a third format specifier to display the value 79.5. Then you have a percentile c to display the gender, is it a male or female. Then finally you have a long integer to display the phone number of the student, st1 dot phone underscore number, something like that. So I hope this is clear. Declaring and defining in this declaration statement followed by the verifying the values of the structure variable for each member. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So dot operator is important. So this is called partial initialization. So we can initialize the first few members and leave the remaining blank. However, the uninitialized members should be only at the end of the list. That is more important. So you have an option to initialize only few members, that too only in the sequence, right from 1, 2, 3 like that. So if you have a 5 members, 1 can be initialized, remaining 4 can be left blank, or 1, 2 can be initialized, remaining 3 can be blank. But it is not possible. First one is left blank, and the second one I want to initialize, remaining I don't want to. It is not possible. So that is what it's trying to tell. We can initialize the first few members. Just a minute. I'll just keep my charger. Yeah. So if you see, we can initialize only the first few members and leave the remaining blank. It is possible, but however, the uninitialized members should be only at the end of the list. So the uninitialized members are assigned default values as follows: 0 for the integer and floating point numbers, and null character for the characters and strings. So if you initialize at least one, remaining will be by default 0 or null character. If you don't initialize anything, all are garbage. So that you must remember that. So here one of the example where again same example I'm taking, but only 4 members here. Struct space student, and only definition is happening here. We have a name as a member, then roll number, ROLL, which is an integer data type. Then you have remarks, which is a character variable. Then you have a marks, which is a float variable. Now, even though we have 4 members, but at the time of declaring the structure, struct space student and S1, we are only defining only 2 variables, which is a name and roll number is 4. So then remarks and marks, you're trying to print. Can anybody tell what will be the output for the third and fourth printfs? Yes. Can anybody tell what is the output for the third and fourth printfs? Respond. Do you get a garbage? I'm asking all of you. Around 20 plus are there. I guess at least some of you are able to understand. What is the output for the printf 3 and printf 4, third and fourth printf? Is it a garbage or is it 0? Anybody from the class?
Garbage.
Garbage. Why garbage?
So here nothing is specified, no, sir.
Why garbage? Sorry?
Here nothing is specified, no.
Yeah, but first two are specified, no? What this statement is telling? The uninitialized members are assigned default values as follows.
0.
For integer and float, it is a 0, and for character and strings, it is a null. So that you must remember. Even one member is initialized, remaining all members are going to be default values will be assigned either 0 or null character. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So S1 dot remarks and S1 dot marks, what is this going to print?
0, sir.
0. Okay, so null character I cannot see, it's a non-printable character, whereas for the %lf you can say 0.000 something like that. Okay, so this is also one of the important thing you must remember. Now here the accessing members of the structure or processing a structure already I mentioned, but it's a repetitive, but okay, still I'm repeating by using the dot operator. It is also called period operator or member operator. So all three names are same. Mostly we use member operator, the widely used name. So coming to the syntax, the variable name dot the member name. So structure variable refers to the name of the structure type variable, and the member refers to the name of the member within the structure. Coming to a question here is you must create a structure with a name called student and which has a total three members. First one is a name, the second one is a role, third one is a marks. Assume appropriate types and size of the members. Write a program using structure to read and display the data entered by the user. So I just leave it to you how you can plan and you can verify yourself. So I think you can in fact execute if at all you have a provision, because in the mobile also you have the provision to execute some of the program. I think somebody has mentioned in the lab. I forgot the name of the app. Anybody remembered which app is useful to type C program in the mobile also?
Program is.
Program is, right?
Yes.
So some of you can still plan after the class. Whatever it is written, same thing is here. Just I skip here. I just want it is a self-explanatory. So then comes you are trying to have operations on the structures. It's something like you wanted to copy from the data of one structure into the other structure, or you wanted to compare between two structures. Okay, so it is something like two variables of the same structures can be copied in the same way as ordinary variables. So it is something like student 1 has got total 5 fields, student 2 also has got 5 fields. If I feel that both the students has generally it doesn't happen, but you can have swapping of two students, so you need a temporary variable. So in that case you wanted to copy the data of the one student into the temporary variable. So when I say temporary variable, the temporary variable cannot be a standard data type. It must be again a structured variable, because I just wanted to copy all the items of the student 1 into the temporary structure. Then student 2 data will be copied into the student 1 structure. Then temporary structure data will be copied into student 2 structures. So in that case, there is a need of copying the data from one structure to the other structure while swapping the names. So why do you need swapping means? I think the previous lab exam I think I have conducted, where Google Form sheet I have shared. I think everybody might have submitted, but I wanted to see the results in the ascending order as per the roll number. So in that case, what is going to happen? It is going to perform some kind of sorting. I think in the MS Excel format, you have a provision based on the roll number. If it is going to swap every record, what is going to happen? Even though my reference is the roll number, but the data belongs to all, right? It will be question 1, question 2, or overall number of marks which you got. Everything must be swapped as per the roll number. Is that clear or not? Do you know how the results are going to be saved in the Excel sheet once you submit your form? In the previous exam, I think all of you have done, isn't it? Can you remember? Anybody knows how the results are going to be saved? Is it in sorted way or in unsorted way? Respond. Is the results are going to be stored in sorted or unsorted way?
Unsorted way, sir.
Unsorted, right? So if I wanted to sort, I must take one of the variable as a reference. So if I take the roll number, then as per the roll number, entire whole data related to the particular student will get swapped with the some other data of the some other student, isn't it? Because we have discussed about sorting technique, whether it's a bubble sort or a selection sort, or it needs a lot of swapping. So in that case, there is a need of copying one structure to the other structure. So that is called student 1 is equal to student 2, or a student 2 is equal to student 1. However, the statement which is comparison is also okay. Student 1 double equal to student 2, and student 1 not equal to student is not permitted. The reason is you cannot compare two string just like that. Can I compare a student 1 with a student 2 by using double equal to? Can I compare two string data types by making a double equal to symbol? Respond. How do you compare
No,
two
sir.
strings? Yeah, how do you compare two strings?
No, sir.
No. If at all we wanted to compare two strings, how can we do it?
CMP.
STR-CMP. So that is the problem actually. Assigning is okay. Student 1 is equal to student 2, but comparison is not okay, as you have no provision to compare by using double equal to for certain data types. That is the reason whole structure comparison is not possible, like student 1 double equal to student 2. So you're supposed to compare individual elements. So if the member 1 needs to be compared, you must use STR-CMP. Member 2 and 3, 4, and if it are integers and floats, you can use the double equal to or not equal to, not a problem. So in that case, st1 dot roll number is equal to st2 dot roll number. That is fine. That is acceptable. So members comparison as per the standard data type is acceptable. If at all two structures needs to be compared, every member has to be compared separately. That is what only the option is left out. If we need to compare the structure variable, we may do so by comparing the members individually. That is what it is showing in the last statement. So here the structure has been declared the global before the main, that is outside the main. Now any function can access it and create a structure of that particular type. So you have a provision to define the structure before the main, and so that that particular structure variable can be used by any other function, or else you can also keep the first four lines where structure space student opening and closing bracket, inside that char name and int roll number inside the main. Then this structure is only useful for the main. No other function can use that no structure data type. So that is what is trying to mention here. Now how structure elements are stored, just now I said it is like no adjacent to one another. The elements of the structures are always stored in a contiguous memory location. A structure variable reserves the number of bytes equal to the sum of bytes needed to each of its members. Already we did that. So computer stores structures using the concept of word boundary. In a computer with the 2 bytes word boundary, the structure variables are stored left aligned and consecutively one after the other, with at most 1 byte occupied in between them, called slack byte. I will not discuss what is the slack byte and all. I'll tell later. So don't give much content on the third statement. If I explain that, you may not understand exactly what it means, but it is something like, if at all I'm using a character as a middle, in the, when you write order of the numbers, if you use a character in the middle, even though character needs only 1 byte, if it's the boundary of a 2 bytes, so character, even though for character also 2 bytes are allocated, but only 1 byte is useful. Immediate to the next byte will not be under use. So that is called slack byte, generally, which is a waste of memory. So that is the reason word boundary I'm not considering right now. But only thing is how they are stored. You must remember they are one stored contiguous location. That is more important. When we declare the structure variable, each one of them may contain the slack bytes, and the value stored in such slack bytes are undefined because it is not meant for actual purpose. Character needs only 1 byte, but because of the word boundary, 2 bytes are allocated, but only first byte will be used. Even you write something else, it will be undefined actually. So due to this, even if the members of the 2 variables are equal, the structure do not necessarily compare, because because of the slack bytes, 2 structures may not be of same size. So that is the reason you should not compare. So that's why C does not permit comparison of the structures. So now we are going to discuss about maintaining records of set of students or set of employees. In that case, the array of structures is important. So declaration of the structure, definition of the structure does not change. Only in declaration, the way we declare is slightly different. Here you can see in the beginning of the class, I asked if I have a 60 student, I just want 60 structures, which is not generally preferable or suggestible. Here it is written in the second statement. If we wanted to keep record of 100 students, we have to make 100 structure variables like st1 comma st2 comma up to st100. In this situation, we can use array of structures to store the records of 100, which is easier and efficient to handle because of loops can be used to process the structures, array of structures. I hope the last point I need not to explain. Is that clear? Respond. If you say okay, then I'll move. Otherwise, you want me to explain, I can explain. This is not an issue. It all depends
Yes,
on
sir.
you. Okay. So, do you want me to explain or can I skip the last line? I request everybody please go through the second and third line. If you feel you have not understood, just let me know. I can explain. Otherwise, I'll just move to the next slide. I'll give just 30 seconds. Read. Everybody read through the second and third point. So I hope everybody understood. Is that clear or any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can I move to the
Clear,
next
sir.
slide?
Yes, sir.
Just respond. Can I move to the next slide or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So now we are trying to discuss about array of structures. You can see everything is same. Only the last statement, which is structure space, student space. Instead of st1 comma st2 comma st100, we are using simply st with a square brackets. So the size of the array is mentioned st of 100. So which indicates st of 0 is one structure, st of 1 is one structure, st of 99 will be the last structure. So size is 100, but usage point of view, st of 0 to st of 99 you are supposed to use. So st of 0 dot name, st of 1 dot name, that is how we are supposed to use. Okay. So write a program that takes roll number, then the some name, I don't know, f name means maybe function name or something like that. Then L name, maybe some other name. First name, last name, if I'm right. Okay, F name is first name, L name is last name of the 5 students, and print the same record in accessing the in ascending order on the basis of the roll number. So I think there are 2 questions are involved in this. First thing is you have to create a structure, means array of 5 students. Then you need to read the data randomly. Then you need to display in ascending order in terms of the roll number. So roll number first should be printed, then roll number. While giving the inputs, you can have randomly. First roll number 5 data is given, then roll number 3 is given, then roll number 4 is given. So randomly you can enter the data, but coming to the display, it has to be displayed in order. So something like either you should use a bubble sort or selection sort for based on the ascending or descending order. So reading the values is very simple. I need to use a for loop because it's the array of structures of 5 members. I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus 5. So I can have total 5 times 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it is asking every time enter the roll number. So scanf percentage ampersand of, I just mentioned no s of 0 dot roll number, because first time I equal to 0. So I think you can enter roll number 5. Then it will ask enter the first name. You can write some name, first name. Then it will ask the last name. You can use the last name. So like that, the for loop is repeated 5 times. You can give the 5 different data. Total 15 times you are supposed to type some input, so that the 5 records with the 3 members are going to be full. Then followed by, you have to perform the sorting based on the roll number. So what we are doing is, even though my structure has got 3 different members, only one member is important for me, that is the roll number. So here you can see, based on the roll number, if s of 0 dot roll number is less than s of j dot roll number, it means if first roll number is less than the next roll number, I think it is in ascending order. No, generally it should be greater than, it should not be less than. You need a swapping, because first number cannot be greater, second number cannot be less. So it should be greater than symbol, not less than symbol. It will give a descending order actually. This logic will you give the descending order. So what we are doing is we are simply taking temp is equal to SI dot roll number. Then you are just updating SI dot roll number with SJ dot roll number. I think this is wrong actually. You are supposed to use temp is equal to S of I, S of I is equal to S of J is equal to temp, where temp should be belongs to the structure data type. Okay, so don't go by this, otherwise you will not get the right output. I'm repeating, whatever logic is mentioned here, it won't work out, because we are not interested to copy only roll number, we are interested to copy entire array, because here only the roll number is swapped but your details remain same. So that is the reason don't follow this. Then the question is defining the structure of employee having the data, I think similar to the student. And then third program is also given, I just leave it to you. Then comes the topic called array within the structures. So as already we have seen, only for the string we have seen char, then name with the array of 20 bytes. Similarly, you can have integer and floats with the array of floats or array of integers, which is acceptable. So we can use single or multi-dimensional array of a type, integer or a float, besides the character also. So here you can see my structure with a student. You have float marks of 6. It means 6 subjects. Maybe subject 1 marks of 0, then subject 2 is marks of 1, something like that. So it is called array of a marks. Then character name of 20, only one name. Then roll number is only 1. Then I can record such 100 students. So each time when you read the data, can anybody tell how much data is needed to fill one structure? How many times input must be given to fill one structure in the given definition? Anybody? Tell me. Name is needed, roll number is needed, then followed by how many inputs?
3 inputs, sir.
No, 6 inputs. Subject 1 marks, subject 2 marks, subject 3, like 6 inputs are needed. Why 3? Okay, 3 is members, but in the third member need again 6 inputs, isn't it? Is that clear? Okay, if you are having a doubt, I think, I don't know, let me check whether it is program is written or not. So array within the structure, here the member marks contains 6 elements like marks 0, marks 1 up to marks 5, total representing the marks for the 6 subjects in the student, indicating the marks obtained in 6 different subjects. So these elements can be accessed using the appropriate subscripts. So for example, S of 25 in the 25th student dot third subject, so marks of 3. That is how you should use. Refers to the marks obtained in the 4th subject by the 26th student, because index 25 means 26th student, index 3 means 4th subject. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Then this is an example of how you read the values. Here you can see only for the subject for loop. That is what I said. How many inputs mean? You said 3, but I said it's a total 10. So you can see scanf total 10 times scanf is executed here. Scanf percentile is SI of dot name first one. Scanf percentile D SI dot underscore class. It's underscore. I don't think it is needed because it is only it is a different program, but okay. Then you have a section, then followed by 6 subjects, total 10 inputs. 9 inputs are trying to give. Then structure within another structure. This is called nested structures. So here I said sometimes you are trying to keep structure in a structure is called nested structure. Let us consider a structure called personal record to store the information of a person. So here you can see a student has a personal record like with a name, then date of birth, then month of birth, year of birth, float, salary, and person. So it's only one structure. You can also modify the same structure definition, something like this. You have a structure called date in which you have 3 different data types. All of them, let it be integer, but it is a separate entity where it has date of birth and the month of birth and year of birth. Then instead of declaring individually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different members of the personal record, you can have only 3 members. One is name, then second one is a structural variable as a member, then third one is a salary. So it is structure in a structure basically, provided whatever structure you are defining as a member in a structure, that particular structure must be defined before that. So you can see date must be defined first, then you can use the date in the next. Even the memory is not allocated, but the definition while scanning through, compiler will scan through the program, struct date must be available before struct personal record is going to be scanned. So this is called structure in a structure, is called nested structure. So structure in within another structure. Here the structure personal underscore record contains a member named called birthday, which itself is a structure within 3 members. So this is called the structure within a structure. The members contained within the inner structure can be accessed as 2 times dot. So first outer record, which is a person, then lower structure, which is called birthday, followed by the member of that lower record, which is called date of birth. So you can use 2 times dot if it is a structure in a structure. Like that, you can have any levels of structures. First structure can have second structure, second can have a third. So like that, as long as you feel there is no ambiguity in terms of remembering the things, you have a provision. But generally 2 to 3 levels maximum we can make. After that, generally we avoid using multiple structures in a structures. So but only thing is, usage point of it is same. Structure, outer structure dot, inner structure dot, the member of the second structure. So that is how we can access the members of the inner structure. Then followed by outer structure members, directly you can use the outer structure name followed by the member name. Like name and salary belongs to the outer structure, but coming to the day of birth, month of birth, and year of belongs to the inner structure. So that is the reason, accessing point of view, two dots are needed for nested structure. 1 dot is needed for unnested structure, something like that. So these are all, I just leave it to you, you can go through it. So more than one type of structures can be nested, means that is what it was shown. You have a structure date, you have a structure name, and both of them can be written in the personal record. So multiple structures can also be declared as the members of the third structure. Then this is an assignment. With this I just stop because I said I just have some work at 7:15. So till 34 slides, right? Remaining slides I'll just try to cover in the next class. But till 34th slide, I just wanted you to go through once again. If any doubts, please ask me in the next class. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, Amit's portion, sir.